We finished the first 2 points of the lecture. We're on the third point now, which is some of the important skills that a person will learn when they memorize the Quran. The first skill that they gain, maharatul qira'ah. The first one is comprehension and reading, especially when it comes to that reading. Some people may think that this is not a big deal, but honestly, those who have memorized the Quran compared to those who have not memorized the Quran, if you go, and I've seen this myself when I was studying in Medina, okay, you will see the difference between the two is like night and day when it comes to reading. Okay, one person, the one who's not memorized the Quran, when it comes to reading a normal Arabic book, not even the Quran anymore, it takes him so long to read one page, whereas the one who has memorized the Quran, in 1 minute he's read the page. With the one who's memorized the Quran, his reading improves because he knows the letters. He knows how to correctly pronounce the letters. He knows more words compared to the one, let's say one's not memorized the Quran, one has memorized the Quran. They both want to learn Arabic. The one who has memorized the Quran, automatically he has so much more vocabulary. Okay, and this is something which is mushahad. This is something which is seen. This is a reality, and you can clearly see this. The big difference between the students who have memorized the Quran and the students who have not memorized the Quran. This is the first skill. The second skill is the skill of memorization. The skill of memorization. And this is quite clear. The one who memorizes the Quran, it is more easier for him to memorize ahadith, more easier for him to memorize poems, more easier for him to memorize the statements of the ulama. As for the one who has not memorized, they will not have that skill, and they will find it a lot harder to memorize ahadith. And then there's a third skill which is slightly different to the previous one, which is not only memorization, but itqanul hifdh, but to perfect and to master that memorization. And this is a higher level than the previous one. And there's a difference between saying that this person is a hafidh of the Quran and this person is a master of the Quran. He's difference between saying he's a hafidh of the Quran and this person is mutqin lil Quran. There's a big difference between the two. And what we mean by mutqin, somebody who's mastered or perfected or very accurate in the Quran, is that he rarely ever makes a mistake. And this requires a lot of hard work. And from these two skills, which is memorization and then perfecting or mastering the memorization, this, if somebody has this skill, it allows them, when they want to seek knowledge, to pick up so much knowledge in a little amount of time. Whereas the one who does not have this skill, he will be learning a small amount of knowledge and it will take him a long time to fully take in that knowledge. So these are three skills. The fourth skill is maharatu al-istihdar. Istihdar means to remember and to summon that knowledge when it's needed. The one who memorizes the Quran and he has perfected it and mastered it, and I'm talking about those who have mastered the Quran. There's a difference between those who just memorize, but the one who has mastered it. When it comes to any mas'ala, any issue, when it comes to seeking knowledge, the ayah is at the top of the head. And you'll see this with the ulama. Sometimes you ask them a question, and that question has got nothing to do with the lesson that they are teaching. But they will quote ayah upon ayah upon ayah without any hardship. And this is really important, especially for those who want to reach higher levels in knowledge. Because once you have a lot of knowledge and a lot of masail, a lot of issues, you need this. If somebody, especially if you become a person people look up to and people ask you questions, you're an imam, for example, you're a mufti, people are going to ask you questions. You can't say, I remember taking this, but let me just go back and check my book. You can't say that. You have to know it on top of your head. Here and there, it's fine, but every single question, that. This is what differentiates between somebody who becomes a scholar and somebody who is not. So this is the fourth skill that a person gains. The fifth skill that a person can gain by memorizing the Quran, maharatu al-muraji'ah, the skill of revision. And this is a skill which differentiates between the students. Because somebody who memorizes the Quran, he has to revise the Quran. He has to revise the Quran. There's no way he can complete his memorization of the Quran if he doesn't revise. And if he doesn't revise, خلاص, he'll forget it. And you can see this, sometimes you'll see some people who have memorized the Quran and then they leave it, they don't revise. You tell them to leave Tarawih, they can't. And they'll be the same people that they won't be giving lessons, they won't be benefiting the Ummah. And this is something which is very important, because when you have to revise, a person knows how to revise, so when he wants to seek knowledge, he's already had that skill knowing how to revise. He can link masail together. Those who memorize the Quran, they know sometimes between two pages you have to link the pages together. Okay? You have to remember what page comes after. And they are able to place it in order. When the mutashabiyat come, sometimes, everyone has different ways of remembering it. Some people remember that, okay, the first time is like this, and the second time is like this, and the third time it's like this. The first time Allah brings a fa, and then a waw, and then a different harf, for example. This all comes with those who are able to revise. And this, subhanallah, this is something that you will find with the scholars. For example, Shaykh Hifdh, somebody who I've studied with, when he teaches, even when he teaches, he has like a syllabus. Usul al-Thalatha, Qawaid al-Arba', Durus al-Muhimma, Kitab al-Tawheed, and Aqeedah Wasitiyah. And then Az-Zad and Bulugh, or Bulugh and Az-Zad, okay? But rarely students reach that level with him. He doesn't go outside of these books. He goes through the books again and again and again. What's the benefit of this? I've never ever seen in front of Shaykh Hifdh a book. You go to him, and he would say to you, okay, because he has little groups, okay, he gives like 20 minutes to this group, 20 minutes to this group. You would go up to him and he will say, okay, what's your dars? Which book? This book? Okay, whereabouts are you in the book? You say, okay, read the matan. And you had to memorize the matan, and your test is memorizing the text. And then he would start his explanation. Okay, this is the ruling, this is the hadith, this is 4 types. All from top of his head. He taught Kitab al-Tawheed once in a dawrah within 4 hours. Kitab al-Tawheed, 67 chapters. Normally people take a whole year to explain the book. He explained it in 4 hours without any book in front of him. Just keep going over the same books, keep revising and revising. And this is the same skill that is needed when you want to memorize the Quran.